right, hello everyone and welcome. Just as a reminder here before we get started, in your chat box, if you could put in the two semicolon, make sure it says two panelists and attendees so everyone can see each other's comments throughout the session here. And we will be sending out a recording later today about the session for you to have and listen to whenever you are able. So we are so excited to teach you about our OSU Health Coaching Program today and help you to understand how we can support you in living a healthy lifestyle. We have our whole team here today, as you guys can see. So if everybody wants to, wave, say hello.
Hi.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Right, so throughout the session, you will have an opportunity to get to know a little bit about the health coaches here, and we all come from different backgrounds and have fun learning from each other. We also want to share with you guys how our health coaching program works, right? That's why you are here listening today, and take you through some of the steps of how we can help you focus on behavior change. Our health coaching team also offers some really cool and creative programs outside of our telephonic sessions that we want to make sure you guys are also aware of here. And again, we want to get your questions answered so you have a clear picture of our program as a whole. So I'll get started introducing myself, guys. I am Lindsay Atwood, and I've been a OSU Health Plan Health Coach for 10 years. My background is as a registered dietitian, and I specialize and I'm really passionate about weight management and nutrition programs. A little bit about myself: I love cooking with my family and teaching my two young girls how to cook. We have really fun in the kitchen, and a really quick and healthy weekday meal that we often make together that doesn't take a lot of time is these big portobello mushrooms that we buy. And then we'll top that with arugula, tomatoes, any veggies we have in the fridge, right? And then put some goat cheese on there, and it really doesn't take long at all, right on the oven, and it's ready in 5 minutes and delicious. Another thing I love to do is go hiking with my dogs or as a family too. It's just nice to be in nature and get some energy out and just unplug for a little bit. I personally stay motivated to make healthy choices and want to make healthy choices by planning ahead. And I say that often. If any of you know me, planning is so important to help with that stress throughout your week. If you kind of maybe know the foods that you're going to be eating and how you're going to add that exercise and movement in throughout the day and how you're going to have some time for yourself. So planning is a big part of helping me to stay motivated to be healthier. So that's just a little bit about me, but let's dive into the health coaching program now. So it looks like from your poll, so thanks for answering that question. Have you ever participated in OSU health coaching? There's about 70% that have not. So good, so hopefully you'll get some great information today here. I wanted to open it up and ask you guys, what do you know about health coaching? For those of you that have done it or maybe have heard from friends or family or those that have, and that's why you're sitting here interested, what do you know about health coaching? Thanks, Beth. Good. What have you heard? Don't be shy, guys. Or if you have done it, how has it helped you? What? Good. Talking to someone about goals, fantastic. Good listeners. Being more accountable. Offer support. Perfect. I like these words being shown here. Coaches help support you with weight loss and exercise ideas. I only know it's available to us as employees, but not much other than that. Hoping to learn more. Awesome. Thank you for your honesty. I've heard about could help with structure. Good. Help me with goals and support. Voluntary. Getting encouragement. Fantastic. Supportive and has great ideas. Thank you, Beth. I like the word. I've seen support a lot. So good. And that's what we want. We as coaches partner with our members. We want, our members to be in the driver's seat. So it's a very collaborative approach. We help guide and support you to think about what changes you want and can make realistically in your lifestyle to be able to live that healthy lifestyle like you want. So members can speak with a health coach, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It's whatever accountability that you think you need and want help with to, take it a step at a time here. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk a little bit just about staying committed to health. Isn't always easy, right? This is hard stuff. And sometimes we just need a little nudge, right? Someone to help you to set realistic goals, inspire you to reach them, and hold you accountable when you maybe just don't feel like making healthy choices. So health coaching is, if we think about it, it's not that linear process where you have a start and end point, right? We like to think about it as a circle that is continuous. So continuous learning, practice, self-improvement, continuous developing healthy habits. So there's no failure, right? We learn from our mistakes and don't beat ourselves up about it and make us feel guilty, but say, okay, let me try this in a different way to see what works better for me in the end. We have a question. So good, Amanda got it, great. So Bonnie is going to now talk about common health coaching topics here.
Thanks, Lindsay, for getting us started today. Again, my name is Bonnie Wilhelm, and my background is in exercise. I joined the OSU health coaching team just a little over a year ago, but have been a health coach for many years. Some of the programs that I help with are the Group Lifestyle Balance Program. I enjoy hosting some of our physical activity programs that we host at Ackerman. And then I've also recently become a health coach to assist with the Buckeye Baby team. So something a bit embarrassing to share with everyone today, but very empowering to help me through my workouts. I do like to listen to Britney Spears, the channel on Pandora. I just put it on, listen to it throughout my workouts, and there's actually a lot of inspiring and empowering songs that come on to help push through those tough workouts. So give it a listen there if you have a chance. A physical injury that I've had to overcome. So I have torn both ACLs. One injury was in high school playing soccer, and then as adult as well playing soccer. So that helps motivate me to keep up with a strength training routine, and then also helps me assist members overcome their injuries and continue on with exercise as well. And then I am a big advocate for finding calorie hacks. So how can we enjoy the same foods but still stay in a healthy calorie range? And one of my favorite calorie hacks is PB2 as a substitute for peanut butter. So some of our overall health coaching topics that we talk about would include things such as stress management, physical activity, nutrition, weight management, or also tobacco cessation. When we are in the coaching calls, they are not limited to those topics, so do keep that in mind. During the health coaching sessions, members are able to share about any area of their health as long as they feel comfortable. And then also with our health coaching calls, as we're discussing common coaching topics, if we can link you to other OSU resources or benefits, we do like to share those resources for you as well. And then health coaches are available Monday through Friday from as early as 7 a.m. And then we do stay late in the evenings till about 7:30 p.m. As Lindsay mentioned earlier, we really want members to be in the driver's seat. So members can determine the frequency of overall calls. At the end of each coaching session, you'll work with your individual health coach to determine your follow-up times. So these could be weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly. And typically the average session is about 20 to 30 minutes. And then I know this question came through the chat. So who is eligible for health coaching? Do keep in mind, again, participating in health coaching is completely voluntary and confidential. Benefits eligible faculty and staff are eligible for the overall program. In addition, medical plan enrolled adult dependents are also eligible. So next, we will go ahead and have Amanda talk to us more about how health coaching can help you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. So yes, I'm Amanda. I've been with the health plan for about 1.5 years now, and my background's in counseling, so I do a lot of our stress management and emotional well-being programming. A specialty program I facilitate on campus is the biofeedback sessions for stress management training in the OSU Smart Lab. I do have to unfortunately say that service has been on hold during COVID because it is an in-person service, but we hope to have that up and going again sometime in the future. Since I talked to so many people about stress management, I thought I'd share what I do. I really rely on taking a lot of breaks and require a lot of downtime alone to recharge. That really supports my very introverted personality. I also do a lot of deep breathing because you can do that anywhere, and listen to audiobooks. What I like to do in the summer, I really love to be outside when it's sunny and warm. I don't mind the heat too much, and so we take our dogs for walks or just relax on the patio, maybe go hiking when we can. And how I stick with healthy habits, I keep them really, really small. I like tiny steps, and really try to put new steps onto existing routines so that they're easy to remember. And then I celebrate every single little win, like every small bit of progress, even if it's just a mental, like, go me after I do something. It feels silly, but it keeps it fun and rewarding. So yeah, as Bonnie mentioned, we're going to talk benefits of health coaching here. So there's a lot of benefits, and we talked about like the support and accountability. I think a lot of participants also find that they gain clarity about their vision and goals for health. They start to learn what healthy really means for them, and start to create a really personalized plan for that health and wellness. And then through our conversations, as we're evaluating steps people are taking, discussing what's working, what's feeling challenging, I think participants also begin to clarify what it takes to create lasting change for them in a really positive way. I often tell people there's no one way to be healthy, no one way to do any of this. It's all about finding what's going to work for you. And then as those new actions are practiced, and they're encouraged and supported, and they're done consistently over time, kind of adjusted around life events, people really start to turn those changes into habits that feel sustainable and even enjoyable. So we have here a few member testimonials. We wanted to share a little bit about what folks who've worked with us have said. So for example, one person said they originally joined for the incentive points. That brings a lot of people to the program, which is great. But now they really look forward to the monthly check-ins and are really engaged with their coach. Another person who looks forward to the calls for accountability and help thinking through options when life feels really challenging. Someone else saw a lot of improvement in their biometric health screening numbers, and someone who really appreciates the patience and encouragement of their coach, and the help kind of clarifying priorities, and kind of sticking to those again, even when things are challenging. Now we're curious to hear a little bit from you. So if you could use the chat there again, if there are some folks in the audience that have used coaching before, what are some of the benefits that you have experienced in coaching? While folks are typing, I'll answer a question I see here. Someone got it. We're trying to cover all areas. Okay, so someone shared that the support has been really helpful, especially during COVID. I know someone earlier when Lindsay was chatting mentioned like just getting some good ideas, and again, that support and accountability. Great to have a sounding board. Yeah, I hear that a lot from participants I work with, that it's helpful to just like say ideas out loud, that sometimes ideas come to us when we're talking about them versus just thinking about them. And a lot of folks get that clarity through that in coaching. Well, I really encourage you to keep sending some benefits to the chat if you have them. And, you know, we'll touch base on more of those as the presentation goes on. I just have one more slide for you. We wanted to cover some of the myths of health coaching, just in case some of these common misconceptions have anyone feeling nervous about trying it. So one of the common things that I think comes up a lot is that coaches will tell you what to do, or maybe they're going to make you eat or exercise in a certain way. Really, as the others mentioned before, coaches, we're here to guide you to discover your own answers and ideas already within you and create goals based on your interests. Sometimes people can often confuse health coaching with the services of like a dietitian, a fitness trainer, or even a counselor. And while many of us come from such backgrounds, the focus in coaching is a little different. We're really focusing on behavior change in any area of health. So like that one answer mentioned, like we'll talk about anything that you kind of bring to the table that you think will help your health and wellness. We have training and things then, despite our backgrounds, we're focusing on like motivational interviewing and positive psychology. Everyone on our team is a certified health and wellness coach through Well Coaches. But that being said, we regularly encourage people to work with other experts to achieve their goals. We know coaches can't help you solve all of your health issues. That's another common thing that can come up is, you know, we'll cure everything, and not necessarily, we wish, but what we can do is, if you need a little extra help, connect you to other resources and experts within OSU or beyond. And so what that means is a lot of participants may work with a dietitian or a counselor or even a doctor. They will receive a recommendation to make certain changes from that person, and then they work with us in coaching to figure out how to implement those changes in a way that feels doable. And finally, sometimes people worry that coaches will judge someone for their weight or their lifestyle habits, or think that coaches themselves are perfectly healthy. That's just not the case. Often we're learning and struggling right along with you on our own goals. And if you do feel judged or invalidated in any way by a coach, honestly, that coach is not doing their job. And certainly within our OSU team, we're aiming to meet people where they are at. And we want to look for and build on your strengths to help you make change in ways that really work for you. And so with that, I'd like to now introduce you to Michael, who's going to talk about motivation and the stages of change.
All right, well, hello everyone. My name is Michael. I've been with the health plan for about 4.5 years here. My background is in public health. Some of the specialty programs that I really enjoy leading are the group lifestyle balance program, a lot of the physical activity programs, tobacco cessation, and I also lead a Couch to 5K program, usually in person, but COVID's kind of changed the plans this year, so we're going to move to a virtual option. Some activities that I like to do to keep myself busy. I love lifting weights. I'm a marathon runner, just anything outdoors. I love going hiking in all the different metro parks here. My favorite part of being a health coach is really helping members work past barriers that have gotten in the way in the past and helping them to overcome those barriers to accomplish their goals. Okay, so talking about understanding motivation. So during our sessions, we'll talk about your motivation for making change. You know, what is really motivating to make changes now? And reminding ourselves of our why can really go a long way into maintaining our motivation. So do you have a family history of a certain disease that you've seen a family member struggle with, and you decide that you want to try to avoid that? Do you want to feel more energy, less stress, the feeling of accomplishment, will help you really to discover what your best self would look like if you're able to kind of make some of these changes here. And we find that it can be super helpful to write out your reason why. So when things become challenging, you have something to really reflect on and remind yourself, what are you working towards here? And we really encourage people to have fun with it and print it out on some colorful paper, maybe add an inspirational quote, placing it somewhere it's visible. And this could be just the pick-me-up that you need on those days where things are especially challenging and you feel like giving up. Okay, so we'll help guide you through the entire behavioral change process. We'll start this by assessing your readiness to change. Do you have the resources and knowledge to make lasting change? And together, we'll explore what components are needed to put in place and to accomplish your goal here. We'll talk about barriers to change. Is there anything preventing you from changing right now? Is it even a good time to add something new to your schedule? We want to make sure that the conditions are really right so that these changes are more likely to stick. And if something gets in your way along the process, you're not able to accomplish your goals, we'll start brainstorming together, maybe a different approach that may work better for you. We'll also look at the likelihood of relapse. So what might trigger a return to a former behavior? What's happened in the past that's thrown you off? And maybe what's something we can do differently this time to decrease the likelihood of relapse. Okay. And keep in mind, health and wellness is really a continuous process. There will be a sequence of events that we need to go through to reach our goals, similar to this staircase here. And, oftentimes when motivation's high, we want to set pretty lofty goals. We've been thinking about making this change for a while. We're really ready to crush our goals, but sometimes setting too large of goals can become overwhelming. We get this all or nothing mindset here. If we set a goal to exercise 7 days a week, but we're only able to exercise 4, we feel like we failed for the week. And this may cause us to give up on our goals completely. So if we talk about setting these smaller goals of working out 3 days a week, and if we happen to get that 4th day in, we'll feel much better about ourselves and much more motivated to keep working to our ultimate goals. So we'll really work with you, kind of assess, what's realistic in this point of time here as well. And each time we talk, we'll kind of recap about how things went. If things went really well, do you want to keep up with the same goal to become more consistent? Or is it a good time to add more? If things did not go well, do we need to scale back a little bit on the goal? Maybe the goal is a little bit too lofty, a little bit harder than we thought. So keep in mind, behavioral change really is a journey. It's going to be hard at times, but it'll be worth the effort once we reach our goals. Adam, who's often confused with my twin, will now talk more about how to create those goals and a wellness vision.
All right. So, my name's Adam Roberts. This will be my 8th year now at the health plan. My background's in exercise physiology. I started, out as a personal trainer, and I worked in cardiac rehab, and I got to work with, lots of different, folks with different fitness levels and conditions and things like that. And I kind of stumbled onto health coaching and thought it would be a great opportunity to work with pretty much all groups of people, which is ideally, was something that I was looking for. Something about me, I started organized sports when I was 5 years old. I played soccer for about 13 years. My dad coached my first soccer team. And then I picked up on track and cross country in middle school and hit a growth spurt and started to specialize in the hurdles. And I ran track in college and kind of mostly did the hurdles. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I've always really enjoyed exercise, and when I found exercise physiology, and just really fit really well. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the goal setting process. And even though, your health coach, each health coach has a different style for their health coaching, We all go through kind of a similar process here. And the first thing that we normally start with is developing your vision. And coaching, we call this the wellness vision. This is a vision of you at your best. This is what you're working towards. Sometimes when we set New Year's resolutions, we think about in the next year, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. Your wellness vision is kind of like that, but it's more than just, I want to lose 30 pounds. It's, how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? What do you want to be doing more of? And kind of bringing all those things together. And then in step 2, really assessing where you're at now. Like, how far do you have to go to get to that vision? And so think about where you're at. What steps would I have to take to get to this long-term goal that I have? And that leads us to step 3, where we create this action plan. We're going to talk more about SMART goal setting, but it's important to set these smaller goals that are stepping stones that are going to get you to where you want to go ultimately. So that'll be step 3. And then step 4 is just practicing your SMART goals. Consider the SMART goals a big experiment. There are going to be things that work really well for you, and there are going to be things that don't work that well. You want to keep what's working, throw out what doesn't, and just keep going until you get more to, maintenance, which Michael showed us the stage of change. We kind of go through preparation, action, and then we get to maintenance. All right, we're going to look at a wellness vision here. So this is an example of a really balanced wellness vision. And I'll read this to you here, get this chat out of the way. So I feel alert and focused. I wake up most mornings with plenty of energy to tackle whatever may come my way. I make it a priority to nourish my body with healthy food, invigorating physical activities, and daily meditation. I am confident in my ability to adapt and stay resilient through challenges. I'm able to bring my best self to those I care about. So that's a really great example of a wellness vision. Your vision doesn't have to look exactly like that, but you can see in this vision, it talks about, nutrition. It talks about exercise with the physical activities. It talks about, meditation and being resilient. So like there's like a stress management, emotional well-being piece. So think about those when you think about, what you want to get out of your health and wellness long term. What are these things that are really important that you want to work towards? And I think there's one more slide here. This next slide, I like to go through a checklist. It doesn't exactly look like this, but these are the 9 dimensions of wellness that you can see here. And so think about small specific steps. Sometimes when I get to January, I make this to-do list and I think about all of the things that I could do a little bit better. So it could be, could I fit in more exercise? Am I managing my stress good enough? Could I eat a little bit better? Could I drink a little bit more water? Could I get more sleep? Could I have some more me time? Possibly. Could I don't know, brush my teeth an extra time during the day? There's kind of this list that I make, and then I take that list and then I kind of prioritize it, and what should I start with, and then what can I keep adding to this list to get a better balance. So rate your satisfaction in these different areas on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of see where you're at with these, and that might help you decide the best place to start with some small actions. And, don't try to go from like in this example, from a 5 to a 10, but, there are going to be things that you excel at and that you pick up really naturally. And there are going to be things that maybe you're not as good at that, would it be great if I went from a 5 to like a 7 in that area? Would that be okay for me to do that? So Allison is going to take us through the SMART goal setting process a little bit more.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Allison Barney, and I've been with the health plan as a health coach here for about 1.5 years as well. And my background is in exercise physiology. And prior to coming to the health plan and doing coaching, I spent a good number of years working for the medical center, doing various cardiac and pulmonary rehab. One of the other things I do in addition to health coaching is lead some of the physical activity programs as well the health coaches put on. And I like to stay physically active by taking walks and running in my neighborhood, but I also try to do a lot of active play with my kids. I have 2 young kids and they like to be outside and play games and things. So I use that as an opportunity to try to get some extra steps in and movement as well, in addition to if I have time for some more formal exercise. And I am pretty good at some playground games like red light, green light, and I don't take it easy on my kids. So I'm pretty competitive as well with them. I'm getting into podcasts, so I like listening to some new things there and checking some new things out. And one of the ones that I found right now that I'm enjoying listening to is the Happiness Lab. So that might be one to check out if you're curious about some new podcasts to listen to. And I'm a graduate of the OSU University, or the Ohio State University. And in fact, 12 of my family members are also graduates. So I come from a long line of Buckeyes. And I think that's why I'm really passionate about working for the health plan and being a health coach, because it gives me a chance to kind of give back to the Ohio State community and help all of you reach your health and wellness goals. So as Adam mentioned, once you develop your wellness vision that you want to see for yourself, you might be ready kind of in the process here to identify like one small step that you can take to get closer to, you know, that vision of your best self. So when you're creating your action plan, the health coaches, what we'll do is we'll help support you by setting SMART goals. You may have heard that before, but a SMART goal is really just something that you're going to take action on that's specific. It's outlining the what, the how, the when, the where, and it's also measurable so that you can really evaluate your progress and you can see how you did and to decide if you need to make any adjustments, like Michael mentioned. And it should be a realistic step too. So that's something that really we try to stress as we're talking with you. We really want you to feel very confident that you can achieve that goal or that action step in the time that you set for yourself. So the health coaches will help kind of talk through your action plan, and they will make sure that your goals try to include some of these really important components. As you're trying out your goal, as Adam alluded to, you really just kind of want to look at it as a chance to experiment and learn. You want to take notice of what's working and maybe what doesn't. You know, more likely than not, when you're trying out something new, you're going to encounter some challenges and some barriers along the way. So as you continue to work on your plan, you can make adjustments from your experiences. What your coach will do is they'll help check in with you on how your goals went, like Michael mentioned, and they'll help talk through strategies to refine your plan if needed. And the coaching program has a lot of online tools to help you write out your wellness vision and keep track of your SMART goals. Because these things are so helpful to help build your success, we also try to reward you for using these tools. So you can see on the slide here, by kind of taking action in some of these things, in addition to your coaching calls with your coach, you can earn some extra incentive points too. So really being an active participant in the coaching process. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, and she's going to talk a little bit more about some additional resources that coaching can provide to you.
Awesome, thank you. Of course, my team saved the best for last. My name is Jessica. I am a health coach with the OSU Health Plan. I've been here for about 8 years as well, one less month than Adam. My background as well is in dietetics, and I am also a diabetes care and education specialist. So prior to working at OSU, I was in a prenatal clinic. So I really love working with parents to be in the Buckeye Baby program. And then working with people living with diabetes or those looking to prevent diabetes in their life is also an area of focus for me too. A couple of fun facts about me. I love sports. I love baseball. It's my absolute favorite. The Yankees did win last night, if anybody missed that game. I really can't play that particular sport, but I can throw a football pretty well. And watching the Buckeye footballs is certainly a rite of passage at my house. So being active is pretty important for me, but in order for me to exercise, it's gotta be fun. So a couple of fun things that I love to do. I finally found my niche. I love Orange Theory Fitness as well as Club Pilates. It's fun for me. I love it. And that's how I kind of view it, not so much as a chore anymore. So if I could live anywhere in the world, it would be New York City. Not today, not right now, but in general, I would live in New York City. I grew up in a town with one stoplight and 2,600 people. So I think I obsess a little bit about the opposite lifestyle. As health coaches, we strive really to provide our members with resources to help support them best. Keeping up with the latest trends, as well as health and wellness, trends that are happening in health and wellness. There's a lot that goes on, whether we Google it or online, social media. We try to keep up with a lot of the latest trends, as well as linking our members up to other OSU benefits and programs. OSU is pretty large, and so we try to be in the know so that way you guys can be in the know. And so we go through, whether we're emailing tips and tricks to some of our members, we have newsletter articles that we kind of rotate around and send around to people. And then we've got a couple of various coaches who love to do exercise videos and show you guys some new demos, and we like to send those out as well. I believe we have a YouTube channel. I don't know off the top of my head. But we're all also involved in other programs here at the health plan. If you are enrolled in the OSU health plan, you can take advantage of some of the other programs like Buckeye Baby, for example. That's for expecting parents. If you have a diagnosis like diabetes, asthma, cardiovascular disease, or any pulmonary condition, you may be eligible for a care coordination program. And that includes you working with a pharmacist, a nurse, a health coach. Those all three are part of your team. In addition, you get a discount off medication too. And then we have several group health coaching webinars that we offer each quarter. Currently they're online, but we vary in topics, things that are pretty popular, things that are kind of even trending right now. So that's another way to work on your health goals with other people who might be on the same journey or have similar goals too. And then some health coaches are in partnership with primary care providers as well in their offices, and linking up and sharing a partnership with the primary care facilities. So I talk really fast. So we hope that we've given you just a snapshot of, what health coaching is or how it is to be working with a health coach. We really are here to be a person of accountability and support for you guys. We'd love to work with you. It's pretty easy to get connected with us. If you see that email right there, you just need to send us an email with some days and times that work best for you. I know, like it was mentioned before, our sessions are no longer than 30 minutes. And we book these based on what's convenient for you. We even have some evening time appointments available if that's works better for your schedule. So at this time, I'd like to ask you, what questions do you guys have for us today?
Come in and help with the Q&A a little bit here too. Yes, we'll share the slides and the video. Everyone who's on the roster will get the presentation and the recording after this is done. Let's see, how do you get paired with a coach? It is not very scientific. As we mentioned in the chat before, you could request a coach, like if you want to work with someone in particular. If you don't or you don't know, we look at your availability that you sent us and match up with who's first available that matches your schedule. And there
Yeah,
could sometimes be a little nuances, but it's mostly scheduled.
Right. And we will send the recording out. There was a question about that before that.
Another question, can you work with 2 coaches? So we recommend that you work with just 1 coach at a time. That's really for, like, as they say, like continuity of care, right? You're going to establish a relationship with that person. They're going to understand like the ins and outs of like your life and the goals that you're working on. That being said, if you, for whatever reason, want to switch coaches, we don't mind. We're not going to take that personally. If you just think like, hey, I'd like to try someone new, or I really like someone in this webinar today, maybe I'll switch it up. You can just email that address on the slide here and just say, hey, I'd like to switch to Jessica or to Bonnie, and that's fine.
Try them both. That's what I say.
No wait list. We can usually get people in within anywhere from like a few days to a week or so. So it's pretty quick. We don't usually do next day appointments or within the day or 2, but it's usually pretty quick. Work together with a coach. So what I would recommend, the question is, can you and your spouse work together with a coach? We recommend individual appointments, meaning like you would each have up to 30-minute calls scheduled. But you could do those back to back. I know some coaches who work with couples like that. And you can certainly share the same coach. Like I work with a couple couples. I know others do as well. Some couples prefer not to have the same coach and want to keep it separate. That's kind of up to the member.
Yeah, and if you guys want to do it together, I've had a couple couples also do it the same half-an-hour session. And that has been successful for them too, if they're trying to do meal planning and prepping together, for instance, or trying to cook and they want to be on the same page and kind of talk through things together. That's that can happen as well if that's what you want and think it's going to be best for you.
Had couples quit smoking together too.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Let's see, are there any costs associated? How long is the program, and do you have to re-enroll? No costs. The program can last pretty much as long as you want it to, and you don't have to re-enroll. Once you're in, you're in. We try to make it pretty easy for folks, pretty accessible, and it's just a complementary benefit with the health plan. So again, if you're benefits eligible, even if you're not on the plan, it's just here and available for you. And I know some of the coaches, you might be able to speak to this, who've been here longer, have been working with certain members a really long time.
We really get to know those ones. These are some great questions.
Mm-hmm. And if you think of more, please don't hesitate to email us and understand completely, you know, what we're all about. We're here for you.
Right.
I was going to mention that you can also request coaching on Virgin Pulse. So that's another way to kind of connect with us. The messaging system is, you know, more reliable than it was. So we try to get to those as soon as possible as well. But that's another way to reach us. If you don't have the email handy, or if you're in the app and you're doing some different things, you can always find us through there as well and request coaching.
Right, we're getting to our like final minute mark. So I think we'll probably be wrapping up here soon. One last question. Can you recommend any chair aerobics? I'll turn that over to the team.
We do have, yeah, chair research we send out. We have chair yoga videos and, you know, stuff like that, but we do have some things that you can do in your chair. You know, we have lots of folders of different resources, and when the members set their goals and they ask us, do you have any ideas for this or this? Usually we try to, push those to you, usually through your email address.
And we, like I said before, we all come from different backgrounds and have different resources that we collaborate together, and we're very team oriented. So we'll find a good resource for you, we promise, between all of us here.
Yes, the link that was shared in the chat will take you to the YouTube channel that we mentioned, and there is a chair yoga video on there.
More to come, hopefully soon. Adam.
All right. Well, that's our 12:45 mark. I think that does it for our presentation here. Thank you all for joining us and your great questions and comments. We really appreciated it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Have a great-
everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.